4 as he hits 50. Will this be a great individual goal from Kelly? It will be.
Really stay with his goal. Barry move around the corner with the left boot from Ford.
Welcome to Community Bounce, the community footy show brought to you by the good people at Piranha Media. Let me introduce my first guest right off the bat. He is the 2020 Premiership player from the Jervois Football Club, Mitch Noy. Welcome, mate.
How are you, mate? Good to be here. Thanks for
Thank
having
you.
me.
Well, turns full circle. I was on your first podcast, and here you are on the first Community Bounce, mate. So bear with us. I'm just going to introduce the show. Obviously, being a new show, there's a lot of things to get through. So it's great. It's been a great initiative by Rocky Butterworth and the team. Essentially, hopefully you've watched the snippets and the lead-in. There are 26 community footy leagues in South Australia, and we are going to cover all of them. Different leagues on different weeks. Obviously, you're here this week to specialise in
The River Murray Footy League.
of course, and as a premiership player and a man who works in the league, you are going to offer us plenty. So the show, look, it's a really exciting opportunity. There hasn't been anything done like this before. I just want to firstly say thank you so much for the opportunity and thanks for watching. And to all the people already who've shown support and backed us, both financially and the Sample for allowing me the opportunity to do this outside of my work. And like, I'm just going to rattle off some names, some guests we've already got confirmed, some amazing support. So Jace Bode from PNU, Dean Turlick, who's up in the hills in Uradler. He did answer the phone with, "What do you want, Javor? What do I need to do?" But he's committed. Nick Dillon from the Riverland Independent, one of the bearded triplets. He made the call to me, so I think that's going to be a great interview, that one there.
That's expected. To be honest.
Yeah, and so many more. Nathan Grimer, the new coach at Glenunga, one of your old mates, you shared some time at Sturt. And from the Sample themselves, Lisa Parachi, the head of community footy, will be on during the championship week, and Scott Patching as well has been great behind the scenes, helping me upskilling my knowledge to ensure I can bring you the best information about the community footy all around the state. So, Mitch, I'm not going to make any silly promises about the league. We're going to do our best to present the River Murray Footy League. That's why you're here. I don't claim to be an expert on it. My knowledge in the River Murray, I've just got some mates up there, and I love the water skiing. But it's a league made up of 7 teams.
Yep.
And the stat that jumps out at me, how many premiers in the last 6 years? Was it 6 premiers in the last 7 years?
Yeah.
Yeah, which mirrors our Sample as well. So it's a great even league. Look, just quickly, you're going to see footage throughout the show, which is fantastic, and thanks to the people that sent it in. But if you want to get your league or club on the show, it's important to be part of Community Bounce. Please send vision, photos, club information to Hit It, Lee. I hope Lee did that. All right, that was really ridiculous, me clicking. Rocky at piranhamedialive.com.au or private message on our Facebook page. Basically, if you want to illuminate your league to the rest of the state, this is the way to do it, and this show is for you. Look, that's it. We're going to take our first break on Community Bounce. Oh, you're getting a bit nervous, mate? A little parched? Because we've got what's going to be the greatest interview ever seen on Community Bounce, and the only one.
The first show, mate.
It's the first show. I remember you saying that in the bearded triplets. We'll be back with the interview of Mitch Noy, talking all things River Murray and Jervois after these sponsorship messages. Fantastic. Great to have you back. Thanks to our new sponsor. We're bringing you the Country Living Homes interview every week. Of course, you're that interview mate. No pressure. First time. Look at that. It's Country Living Homes. We thank Ravo for his commitment to community footy, or this wouldn't happen without him. So, Mitch, tell me about Mitch Noy, the person, before we get on to the Jervois superstar and grand final winner. Tell me about Mitch Noy, the person.
Yeah, I wouldn't say superstar, but so obviously I work for the Sample like you do, Tommy. I'm a game development coordinator at the Sturt Footy Club, so I look after the Adelaide Hills and River Murray. So really the main thing we're trying to do is get people playing footy, men, women, whoever, playing footy in any grade they can. That's through school visits, working with clubs and so on and so forth. Married to my beautiful wife Jo, live in the Adelaide Hills and originally from the River Murray area. So
fantastic.
A bit about me.
Yeah, it's quite interesting. Yeah, I mean, you want an expert in the field. You actually look after the River Murray Football League and play in it. So whilst you're a Jervois man through and through, you've actually got an affiliation with all 7 clubs, and you're working with all 7 clubs.
Yeah, and that's been really good. Obviously, growing up in the area, obviously know a few people already before coming into the role. So yeah, all the clubs have been fantastic, and looking forward to a good season.
Yep, and we're no more important than the guy that does the scoreboard and all that, but to understand the minutiae of football and how everything fits in, to have those stakeholders in place, it certainly must help you being able to promote the game and get the game played by so many.
Yeah, definitely. Volunteers at league level, as well as at community club level, they make the footy world go around. So without them, none of it would happen.
Yep, beautifully said, mate. Now, you are an outstanding worker, I know that, and people may or may not. I used to manage AFL Max and work very closely with Rory Sloane, and I've told you this story, but people may have not heard the story. Rory Sloane described Mitchell Noy as a young Tom Javor. Now, I think he meant that in a really nice
is that a good thing?
That's a good thing.
Bad thing.
The energy, the enthusiasm, and the love for football and getting kids playing it. So big raps there. And it used to be Javor and Noy, and now they say Noy and Javor, and that bothers me a fair bit.
You're pumping me up a bit. I don't know if I'm going to be able to fit out of the pub after this.
That's all right. And thanks to our good sponsors. Are they sponsors? They are good sponsors at the Magpie. I wouldn't have given you a plug otherwise. Hey, Mitch, let's start. We're going to talk a little bit about Jervois rather than the league itself, because it is your club and a club you love. And one of the reasons I got you on is your story is a great one. So tell us a little about the club history.
Yeah, so the club was founded in 1926. It's a combined sports club. So out in the River Murray, we've got a netball club, tennis club, cricket club, and footy club all together.
Yep.
So a bit of my history at the club. My grandpa played footy there. He's a life member. My dad's a life member. My brother's a life member. I've been playing there since I was 5.
Are you a life member?
I have 2 years, and then touch wood, no injuries, and I'll get there hopefully. So
pressure.
Yeah, I know, but no, that's one of the big reasons I obviously still play back home. Obviously living in the hills. Big affiliation and family history.
So started there, was it junior Colts as a 5-year-old?
Yeah, so back in the day, obviously it's done a lot better now with Kick programs, so make sure you're registered for those.
When I say Oz, you say kick. Oz?
Yeah, Kick. a lot better now, but back then I was, a 5-year-old playing under 10s, I think, and then obviously went through the ranks, under 12s, 15s, 17 and a halves,
And so they all appear, all of those teams appear on a Saturday in the River Murray Footy League, don't they? Yeah,
so it probably kicks off with the first volunteers getting there about 6:30 in the morning, I'd say, with the first game about 8 o'clock, and then it rolls through till 5 o'clock. Seniors.
Yep. And look, speaking of the River Murray Footy League, the people may or may not know, I'm coaching Glenunga this year. There was 2 contracts and I couldn't split them, and one of them was Glenunga. I did sign, but I was so close to signing for Madam because the country feel, the vibe, it really excites me. And whether it's Jervois or Manham or Tail and Bend, it's exciting everywhere you go to play footy, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. And a lot of the clubs are the centre of the small towns and the communities out there. So central meeting point for everyone.
Yep. Look, we're going to cover the 2020 glory, the premiership, and got a bit of airtime on social media just quietly last year. And
lingered probably a little bit too long.
I'm not sure if we've got the still shot. Have we got the still shot that's been sent to us? We're going to try and get a still shot of the great Mitch Noy, just one of the great all-time flexes. It was like the end of that movie, The Breakfast Club. We've done the elevated punch in the air, and they've got you.
A little bit of carry on, I would have thought, but no, that's just pure emotion, mate. After a grand final,
and it was 13 years between drinks, wasn't it, for Jervois?
13 years in between drinks, so we went 4 in a row, 04, 5, 6, 7. But I was obviously pretty young then.
So how old were you in that time?
I was 9, 10, 11, 12, I reckon.
First beer, maybe?
Come a little bit later, maybe first cruiser.
Yeah, first cruiser. Fantastic. Hey, look, mate, the teams are a little bit stars. Tell us about some of the stars, apart from yourself, of Jervois.
So, obviously, I'm very much a role player, but some of our superstars, obviously, our coach, Tate Silverlock, history
the Bloods, didn't he?
Yeah, the West Adelaide
now
Club.
At the Jervois Bloods.
Yeah, premiership player at Westies. Josh Scott, premiership player at Glenelg. Josh Woodall.
Just got the centre-half forward.
Yeah.
Blonde dynamite.
We'll say strawberry blonde.
I like it.
And then we've got a lot of good players at the club. Michael Pope, Norbert, Luke Klusky. We'll get into him a little bit later, I think.
Lukey was best on ground in the grand final. He tells me.
Yeah, so he was funnily enough a junior at Mypolonga Footy Club.
Yep.
Come back.
Is that Kempy's stomping ground?
Yeah.
Another bearded triplet.
But obviously, his Klusky name and family has a big heritage and history at the footy club, so he came back.
Fantastic. We keep mentioning the bearded triplets just so we can get that off our chest. The bearded triplets are an eclectic trio who I do the voiceovers for, made up of course, Mitchie from Jervois, Kempy from Mypolonga, and Nick Dillon from Riverland Independent. All work at the Sample. During COVID, they did it as a job. And it's quite the internet phenomenon these days, isn't it?
Yeah, we like to think so. So give us a follow on Instagram and we'll see how we go.
Fantastic. And I think like I said, I was on your first show, and just sent the thing skyrocketing.
Did.
Hey, plenty of stars that you come up against each week. Tell us about some of the stars from some of the other teams.
Yeah, so obviously, probably get into it later on in the show, but Johnny Boris from Imperials.
Yes.
Scott McMahon, obviously former Kangaroo and Sturt.
Yep, and
footballer.
Sturt Premiership player. And
Yep.
he's knocked around Centrals. His wife worked at Centrals with me, so I got to know Scotty really well. And
Yep.
I was his son Noah's first coach, and he's doing great
You
things.
claiming him?
When we see him one day. Yeah, that was the Auskick time he spent with me. So
Yeah.
Scott's a great man.
Yeah, no, and then Michael O'Malley at Manham, he's obviously a star. Sam Sanders, Meningie local.
Yep.
He's been up at the York Peninsula Footy League the last couple of years for work. He's come back. So there's a lot of good, I guess, talent that's come in over the last few years, but then obviously local talent as well.
Fantastic, mate. So Taylor and Ben, any big recruits this year? Because their form has seemed to have been on the up.
Yeah, so I don't know if he can attribute to this, but one of my good mates that's a life member at Jervois has actually crossed the ferry this year. Scott Chandler, so he's headed over to the Eagles. I don't know if we can say the first 2 wins are because of him, because he was out of it in the first 5 minutes
Okay.
of round one. But just they're coached by Ben Hansen, obviously another Sturt, ex-Sturt player, local club is Taylor Bend as well. So yeah, they've got
I
a
think he
good bunch of
might
locals.
have given himself best on the weekend, Ben.
Yeah, wouldn't surprise me. But
So-
yeah, he's a good player and a good club person.
Nah, fantastic, mate. Now, look, why do we play footy, Mitch? What's the main reason we play footy? But to have fun, it's to
Meet mates, social connection.
pig's whistle. It's to win flags. We all want to win
true.
flags, mate, and you did that last year. I'm going to touch on the grand final a little bit. And in a year, what a year to win a grand final. COVID, it sucked. It sucked for everyone. Footy nearly didn't happen, but it did happen. And then it was Jervois 11-14-80 to the Scott McMahon coached Imperials 9-8-62. Scores are level at three-quarter time, so it was one of those exciting grand finals. And then you really, really cut them. Was it death by 1,000 paper cuts? 2 goals, 8 to 2
Yeah.
points in the last quarter. Take us through that.
Yeah, so it was pretty exciting. So obviously at the time you're sort of in a bit of a haze, like you don't really know what's happening. But,
And after.
definitely. But yeah, so we sort of like they kicked the last 2 goals as well to get it back to level in the third quarter. So we sort of wrestled back momentum at the start of the third quarter, but we weren't hitting the scoreboard. And there was one come down the ground, Will Crane, I think he's at Sturt as well, from Imperials. He come up through the centre. Big Tony Gibson, our 7-foot ruckman, comes across.
Is he actually 7 foot?
Very close.
7 foot.
6'6".
7 in heels, 7
Yeah.
foot in heels.
Yeah, so come across, big smother, and then went down the other end, and Peter Zarantinello shrugged off Scotty McMahon and kicked his fourth.
Yes, Zarantarella, what's his name again?
Peter Zarantinello.
Peter Z, kicked 4, and Tate Silverlock with 3 that day. Klusky named B.O.G. The Klusky brothers, isn't there?
Yeah, so Klusky cousins, so Luke
Cousins.
and Tom are cousins. Yeah.
That's why I've got an expert on the show. And of course, Mitch Noy just quietly 5th best, was it?
Yeah, just snuck into 5th best. My brother had about 30 touches, and I had about 10, and I snuck in the best, so I'll hold that
Fantastic.
on. Hold
And
the rest of the-
early in the game, we did see a nice transition to the forward line and I think set up a goal. So yeah, that
We'll
might
go with
appear on
it
the
anyway.
highlight. It might be playing right now, even as we speak. So yeah, it was a great day for Jervois, and we congratulate them. But all 7 clubs will be super keen this year, of course, in the River Murray Footy League. We've got Manham, the Ramblers, Imperials. We've talked about Taylor and Ben, possibly the big improvers this year. Meningie battling down the bottom at this stage.
Yeah, I don't know. They've got a lot of good locals, and they've actually got Tyler Robinson, a former Jervois blood. They got in the best players, I believe, on the weekend.
Yep.
Has jumped over there. So they didn't participate last year due to COVID.
Yep.
So it's really good to see Meningie back up and firing, and hopefully, they can be pretty competitive this year.
Maybe not this week, though.
Hopefully not this week.
We'll get to
Hopefully we get
that.
it done.
Of course, you've got My Palonga, our good friend Craig Kemp's club. They won the flag a couple of years ago, didn't they?
Yeah, they won in 2019 and then also 2017.
Yeah, and Jervois. And again, it speaks to the evenness of the league that 6 premierships in 7 seasons. Look, we're going to take a very short break here on Community Bounce. I reckon it's going all right, Mitch.
If you don't say so yourself. Or
Oh, you've got all the information. I'll just lead you to water. You have a little drink. And we're back. We're going to talk about this season's games so far, preview this week's games, and then you're going to sit down for 10 with Tommy.
Looking forward to it. Welcome
Welcome back. And thanks again to Country Living Homes for their great support. Thank you, Ravo. Mitch, let's talk about 2021, the year it has been. In round one for you guys, it was a bye, well-earned rest after a flag. But in round two, it was the grand final rematch against Imperials. Was it at Imps?
Yeah, back
Was
at
it
Imps.
It was a bit of a mirror image sliding doors type operation because same thing as the grand final, all level, all squared away at three-quarter time. What happened next?
Yeah, so at the end of the third quarter, this isn't the reason we lost, but my brother actually broke his leg, stretched it off.
Sorry to hear that. Get well.
I'm glad it was broken. He got stretched off. Hopefully it wasn't a bone bruise. So at least he did it properly. But
I went to hospital with a bruise once.
yeah, sums you up, really.
Wow.
But essentially, yeah, after that, they obviously got on top of us, gone sort of downhill, kicked away. Big Johnny Boris kicked a few in the last quarter.
Yeah, he certainly did. So this week, round three, it's the two winless teams, Jervois, 0-1 against Meningi,
played one game,
0-2 in round three. So I'm on the Meningi train after your smart ass comment before. So, where is that one at, Jervois?
Yeah, so at home.
Yeah,
Funnily enough, last 4 games of footy we've played already have been at Imperials because all the finals were there last year.
Yep. And that, again, that's something that people that don't follow the league closely. So the grand final has already been dictated. I did check it out today. It's
at Mapalonga.
Yeah, at Maipa, yeah.
Last year, because of COVID, was all at Imperials, the final series. But yeah, back at Maipa this year.
No worries. But my match of the round this week, mate, and I'll get you to preview it because you're going to know these teams a lot better than me, is Tail and Ben sitting top 2-0, coming off a 116-point win over the Ramblers. Now, I know a fair bit about the Ramblers because our mate Scott Preble used to coach down there.
Yep.
He's not there anymore. He's down in the Hills League now. They're taking on Madden, coached by the Zone coach. Is he called the Zone coach?
Yes, or the association coach.
Association coach, my good friend Wayne Knowles, who will be on this show later this year, coaching Madden 1-0. Tailem and Madden, tell us about the matchup.
Yeah, so I'm probably a bit of bias here with the Jervois Tail and Ben rivalry, but I'm gonna tip Madden. They've got a good core of locals, blokes like Blake Tabe, recruits Tommy Russo, and then like we spoke about before, Michael O'Malley. Good quality play, intercept marks. Tail and Ben, they'll obviously be very, very good because they've won 2 big massive matches in the first 2 rounds, but I'm tipping Madden.
All right, I'm going to take Tail and Ben, and we might even have a little frothy on that one. A bit of sponsors product, maybe next time we're at the Maiden Magpie here in beautiful Stepney. Okay, it's time for our next little segment, mate, and I believe we've got a cue over slide. Hit that slide. It's called 10 with Tommy. Mitch, this is that fast-paced time of the night where we're looking for a bit of comedy and a chance to stitch up those Jervois, not teammates, but club people. So anyone in the Jervois Football Club. So if there's a flatulent netballer, I want to know about it. Right? So again, you haven't seen these questions. If you can, go off the cuff. Let's try and not get the same answer 6 times, but give us what you got, my friend. Who is your favourite teammate?
Favourite teammate would be Casey Robbins. He's actually 42 years old and still playing A grade. That may be why Johnny Boris kicked 8 on the weekend. Shout out to you, Fossil.
Whack, you are a nasty piece of work. Funniest club person?
Funniest club person. Well, one of them jumped ship to Tailem in Scott Chandler, but Harry Mansfield without a doubt.
All right, biggest pest at the club?
Be my brother. He's a school teacher, and shout out to school teachers. They do a great job. But at the end of an activity or a drill, the coach is trying to talk, and Josh has his hand up in the back of the group. All right, let the coach speak, Josh. He gets his 2 bobs worth in, and he takes about 10 minutes, and training's over. Just spit it out, Josh. Far out, mate. And also an administrator, Nigel Kessel's partial to a passive-aggressive Facebook comment.
Oh, directed at others, or
just the others. Pay your subs, all this sort of stuff.
Oh, yeah, pay your subs. The club doesn't run itself yet. Who's the most likely to do a set of push-ups on the mirror? And be pretty happy with
Michael Pope or Tate Silverlock.
Yeah, the coach.
Yep.
Wow,
and he's not ashamed to say it.
The most flatulent at the club?
Ty Burkett.
Beautiful. Okay, stay away from the beans, Ty. Best dancer? Who's cutting the rug?
Luke Klusky, Norbert, or Lewis Oranger.
All right, the trio there. Who has a hair product addiction?
Probably my brother again.
Yep.
I would have thought.
Nice. I've really done myself up special for the occasion.
If you play for Jervois, you'd be straight into that one, I reckon. But,
I went in and I said, give me the 12-year-old haircut, and here we are.
Stuck into the swimming pool anyway here, mate.
Moving on. Shop a goal after the siren. Who's taking it in the grand final?
Shout out to Scotto, Josh Scott, but unfortunately you've been pipped by Ray Love. Plays in the reserves. A couple of years back, he kicked 121 goals and 17 points.
Wow, I don't want to speak out of turn, but I reckon he might have stood a couple of wood ducks on those days.
Yeah, potentially, but 17 points and 121 goals.
Most accurate goal kicking in the history of football, I'd suggest. I once kicked 55-17. That's not about me, but I do like to work that in.
10 with Tommy. Bit of self-indulgent, do you think, mate?
Who would you absolutely not want to share a room with on footy trip?
Have to be Peter Zarantinello or Rick Fisher.
Yeah, Zarantinello. A couple of bonus questions. We've done our 10, but in the world of reality TV, and it's everywhere at the moment, it's like How to Eat a Pancake and all other sorts of crap, who's most likely to appear on any one of those shows from your club?
Bit multifaceted, this guy, Tom Kluski. So he's a Sparky by trade, but I wouldn't pick him for the block. It's more of a Love Island or the Bachelor type operator, TK.
Yeah, is he shirt off when unnecessary timing?
No, he's just a fiend, really.
Yeah, all right, no worries. And tough one now. I'm going to ask the tough questions. Who's your favourite bearded triplet?
Neither. They're both vlogs.
Okay, we've just gone whack, whack, whack. Right, well, that's enough of the fun stuff. So it's time. We're just going to have a look now at a couple of other questions that the producer's given me. New recruits into competition outside of your club. Is there any others that we haven't mentioned that might jump out?
Off the top of my head, like I said, Sam Sanders before from Meningie. Harley Montgomery, he's come down from the Hills Footy League to Imperials, so they'll be strong again. Dwayne Wilson. Also Imperials.
Excellent. I'll be happy to hear their names. Question without notice, which is not a great idea to do on one of these shows. But the Muzzabizza, Murray Bridge, is produced many a famous footballer, probably none more so more recently than Chad Wingard.
Mm-hmm.
Any other big names that have come through the league over the years, ex-AFL?
Yeah, so Jared Leonard, he's on Port Adelaide's list at the
Very
moment.
good footballer. He's
stiff not to be getting a game. Obviously, Port playing really well.
Really, I rate him.
Jack Kluski at the moment, he's from Maipo, cousin of Luke and Tom as well. He's at Glenelg. Obviously Marty Matner, Sturt coach, obviously product of Imperials as well. So
fantastic. Yes, Marty, he is an absolute star, and I'm sure he'll turn his fortunes around. We're going to cover that a bit later. It's time now for a very important segment, Mitch. It's time for now. I used to have
how many segments have you got named after yourself, mate?
I don't make the names; they just appear. This is the Tommy Impact Player of the Week. There used to be an exploding slide on the old horse racing show. And the Impact Player of the Week, with great pleasure, comes from the Imperials Football Club. It is, of course, the man that tore you a new one last week, Johnny Boris. Johnny Boris kicked 8 out of 16 for Imps in the grand final rematch. He turned a 4-point lead into a 37-point win with an outstanding final quarter. How many of the 8 did he kick in the last quarter?
I think he kicked 2 or 3 in the last quarter, but he was standing the fossil, as we mentioned before.
Okay, but this is Johnny's moment. So, Johnny Boris, congratulations. You are our Impact Player of the Week. Johnny, for those of you who don't know, I've got a great Johnny Boris story. As a 14-year-old, he went away to WA to play for South Australia in the Australasian Championships, and his parents were there. So I prefix this with his parents were there, and he won a Australasian Championship and was best on ground in the grand final, and ended up several hours later, whilst not under my supervision, with a box of Carlton Cold on his head and one in each hand. And he was forever known by the Gaelic football fraternity as Captain Coldy. So well done, Captain Coldy. His parents were there. It's a mid-strength beer. Boys will be boys, but he went to primary school. I had the childcare centre. I've known Johnny all his life. He's an absolute ripper. He sent us in some footage, so thanks for being part of the show. You are our Impact Player of the Week. We're going to take a quick break. We're back with our final segment of the night. Thanks for watching. And welcome back. It's time for another segment. It's Our Footy Landscape, brought to you by Ryan Rebix Paving and Landscaping. Rebs he's what community footy is all about. He's a great support. He's already jumped on board. You can call Rebs, this legend of Parry Hills. You can call him on, hopefully it's on the screen, 0411 040 588. Ryan Rebix Paving and Landscaping. Look no further for your paving and landscaping needs. Where are you going to go when you want paving and landscaping?
I'm going to go to Ryan Rebix Paving and Landscaping.
I'm not sure how much money he's given us, but well done. Thank you for your support, mate. You are a star. We're going to talk about the country football leagues, mate. In general, there's 26 of them, as we know. And we're going to talk about the players that move, right? Players do move. They're generally reasonably well paid. There is a salary cap now. But the importance of having these players in the community. Tell us, you've seen it firsthand. How important is it to have players coming into the community to support the leagues?
Yeah, definitely. It's really important. So, obviously, we've spoken about some of the names at Jervois, Josh Scott, Tate Silverlock, Josh Woodall. They're really important. They're the top-end talent. Obviously, you've got your locals there, so your 10 to 15 locals at every club, but they're sort of just the cream on top, and you want to get blokes that fit into your club and work in the canteen and do that sort of stuff as
Absolutely. The value of community footy in the community. Tell us about it. What benefits do you see? You're there every week seeing it.
Yeah, so obviously it's just a good environment to see everyone. Obviously I live in the hills now, so I can go back home, see my mum, dad, my brother, my nephew, and it's the same for everyone. Social connection's massive.
Yeah, social connection, the mental health, all these things that we're really focusing on these days, really important. But again, and you've talked about it already, it's not just the football, but the other things that occur within those clubs and those towns. Talk to me about, what else do we see? We see netball. You're saying you've got a tennis club attached
Yeah, so
as well?
tennis and cricket club, obviously in the pre-season we have to share the oval with the cricket, with the cricket club, and we can't start training on your traditional Tuesday, Thursdays until cricket is finished. And yeah, tennis, even 8-ball as well. So.
No, fantastic, mate. So obviously there's a lot of benefit. These players do need to travel, and obviously being about an hour away from the city, well, certainly from Manham, I know it's an hour from my house because I ski up there.
Manham's a little bit further away than hang on. Manham is a little bit far away from Jervois, but we'll go with that.
Yes. Of course, now Jervois as well, for those of you who aren't familiar with the geographical area, is close to Wellington, isn't it?
Yep, so it's on the way to Wellington, go through Murray Bridge.
Ever been to the Wellington pub?
Been to the Wellington pub.
Is it a sponsor of yours?
They are a sponsor, but we've also got some good sponsors in the Swamport Hotel and Riverside Hotel as well.
Just spent a lot of time there as a teenager. There was a hill made for some good sleeping.
Yeah.
That went to the river. I loved it.
I'll tell you what, I spent a fair bit of time at the Swamport Hotel after the flag. I'll tell you that.
And that's the one just down off the freeway on the
Yeah,
corner.
just on the way out to Jervois.
Is that where we had Perot's farewell?
Yeah, definitely
It is.
was.
Apparently we had a good time. Fantastic. We're going to be back with our final segment after this sponsorship message. Thanks for sticking with us. It's been amazing having Mitch. Now, Mitch, let's just talk about our beloved sample. We do rate it. People were talking sky's the limit for Port Power or Port Adelaide Reserve this year. Port and the Crows soundly defeated in round one. It'd be very interesting to see how they bounce back.
Yeah, definitely. Obviously, young ones like Riley Tilthorpe and that, the Crows, hopefully they can hit the scoreboard in the next few weeks.
Did you happen to catch what happened down at Ex-Convenience Oval there, Mitchie?
Yeah, your doggies got up and about against North.
Yes, men's, women's and reserves winning all three grades. Great day, huge crowd and really good signs. But your boys at Sturt, mate, big things expected from Marty Mattner and a couple of losses to start the season.
Yeah, we'll be right, mate, to be honest. I think Marty's rattled the troops and, I think Woodville West Torrens quality outfit and we were with him for most of the day. So
yeah, beautifully done. And of course, the Adelaide Footy League kicks off, hopefully this goes to air on Thursday. Yeah, I'm looking at you, Lee. Kicks off this weekend. So some huge, I mean, for was it 68 clubs or however many clubs are in the Adelaide Footy League now? It's huge. It's going to be massive. Can't talk up enough. 4.5 months of pre-season. It's been along for some, mate.
Talking flags at Glenunga, are you?
Yeah, that's just silly talk, Mitchell. I'm not sure why you'd go there. A lot of people are tipping Glenunga to get relegated. We'll battle through. The Bees might have the odd win here or there, but
I'm hearing Rams 2021. That's what I'm hearing. Hashtag.
The hashtag is actually Ramelution as we try and go from a winless season with the goal, like everyone, is just win that round one game. So whether you're in Div 1 or Div 7, all the best on the weekend. I look forward to seeing all the results this weekend, and we will have we'll be covering Adelaide Footy League within the first few weeks as well. So Mitch, we can't thank you enough for illuminating the River Murray Footy League and the Jervois Footy Club. Any sponsors of Jervois or River Murray, and any special mentions for anyone in the River Murray who does a great job? Yeah,
obviously, so shout out to the River Murray Footy League executive, Shane Snell, Michelle Hill, Mary Lou Griffiths, and everyone else do a great job. Just some sponsors from Jervois, Doki Electrical, Riverside Hotel, Fisher Motors, Spry Civil, SA Pine, Simply Shutters and Shades, and Swamport Hotel, which is also the league sponsor as well. So, thank you very much.
And if you've never been to the Swamport Hotel, it is awesome. It is fantastic.
Unicorn topping.
Unicorn on the schnitzel?
Yep. Some calamari, a bit of fried camembert.
Don't get the fat boy fired up. That sounds fantastic. I'll see you at the Swamport Hotel. Mitch, the show is about the people. It's about the leagues. It doesn't happen without you people.
It's about you, isn't it?
A little bit. No, it's been fantastic getting River Murray in front of the camera and talking about the stories and the people. Thanks very much for being on the show.
Thanks for having me,
Good luck this season and go Meningi.
Go the Bloods.
See you later.